Hello my friends, what's up and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, thank you so much for stopping by, and if you are a regular, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about my Sephora VIB Sale Recommendations. Listen, we've already talked about my wish list. There's a lot going on over there, so check that one out if you're interested in seeing what I will very likely pick up this sale. But as far as recommendations goes, the things that I have been loving that I would recommend to you that have worked for me, but granted, we are all so very different, so take it all with a grain of salt. But if you're interested in seeing everything I'd recommend to you, because, there's quite a bit, then just keep on watching. Friends, I'm going to move quickly. There's a lot of little things in here, which I know sounds weird, but like just a lot of little things. So let's go ahead and get started. Where do I even begin? Let's start with, I have a lot of lips, honestly, but let's start with the Too Faced Hangover Pillow Balm. I have recommended this before, and honestly, this is no exception, and I just wanted to refresh your memories about it because this for me is very close to the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. And I love that I don't have to dip my finger in there to apply it. This particular one is the watermelon scent. Smells like watermelon candy, and I'm not a fan of the taste of watermelon candy, but it smells delicious, and it has a lovely pink tint that just looks so good. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know why you'd want to tint your lips before going to bed, but you know, it serves its purpose, and I cannot get enough. I have a backup in the banana, and I'm excited to put that one to use. Okay, another lip treatment product, which is on my wish list as a repurchase, is the LYS Speak Love Glossy Lip Treatment Oil. I love this stuff. It goes on almost like a balm, but then it ends up being very glossy, and I had one of y'all ask me if it does look very glossy on the lips because you weren't looking for greasy, and yes, it does look glossy, so just want you to be aware of that. But I love the applicator. It's different. It's almost like curved. It's like it's like a foot or a toe that's pointing. Anyways, so it is just absolutely wonderful, and for the price point, it doesn't get better than that. It's $12, so I will be repurchasing. I like to put this on after I brush my teeth in the mornings because my lips will get very tight and dry, and this just kind of gives them the relief that they need. I use this in place of my Clarins Instant Comfort Lip Oil, if y'all remember. If you've been with me for a long time, then you know that was my tried and true. Okay, let's go into a hair oil. Really the only hair product that I have, and I have rediscovered my love for this. I don't know why I stopped using it. It's the Briogeo Don't Despair Repair Strengthening Treatment Oil. Remember, I've talked to y'all about this multiple times. It's the one with the little dried rose on the inside. This is my third bottle. That is how much I love this. And sorry, my eyes are like, when I do my waterline or my tight line, it messes with my contacts. But anyways, I had put this one aside because of other products that I wanted to try. And obviously I've cut my hair, and I was like, I just need moisture. I feel like we even talked about this in my wish list video. I just need something with moisture. And lo and behold, I pulled this one back out, and I was like, what was I even thinking not using it all this time? It is ridiculously moisturizing. It makes my hair look healthy. It makes it look not shiny and not greasy, but just healthy. It's not dull, and it's a little bit more vibrant. And there's a reason that I have purchased this multiple times, and I will likely be purchasing a backup of this because I am already halfway through. And so if you struggle with your hair like looking a little lifeless, that oil is incredible. If you prefer to purchase at Ulta, they do carry it there as well, just for reference. Okay, let's go into a few complexion products. So I am going to talk about 3 different foundations. You probably already know what they are, especially if you've watched my most recent foundation ranking video. I don't know why I had struggled to get that out. Okay, so first and foremost, the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. Listen, now's the time to get this foundation during the sale. This is a pricey foundation. It's $49, so to be able to get 10 bucks off, that is huge. Does come with a pump in case you are wondering, but most people know that by now. I love this foundation so much. It's been a long time since I have loved one this very much. And from NARS, I've never loved one like this. So this just makes my skin look very fresh, healthy. It doesn't look like I've packed on the makeup or the foundation. It just looks smooth, effortless. It doesn't clog my pores. It doesn't enlarge my pores. And it just, like, my skin peeks through. All around a win. I love this foundation. So out of all 3, I think this is the one that I would recommend to you the most, going in the ranking process that I did with that video. But the other one that I'm wearing on my skin today, which Just total side note, I will be filming a full face of using these products so that you have an idea of how they go on my skin. I was actually going to do that today with this video, and one, I didn't have the time, and two, I was like, you know what? I feel like that's too much going on. We're going to make it its own video. We will put all of this on my face together so that you can see how it works on me. But the Yummy Skin, so there's two products that I would highly recommend to you, and it is the, let's go with this one first, the Glow Serum. I love this stuff so much. A little bit goes a long way. It doesn't give me that super intense glow that I saw a lot of people get, and I'm like, I wanted that. Anyways, it still makes my skin look beautiful, and it doesn't have a very overpowering smell, but it does have a scent. It's almost like a, I don't know, a mix of floral and candy. I don't know how to describe it, but listen, after it sets, it smells so good. But again, not overpowering, and I don't get headaches from very strong scents, but at the same time, I'm not looking to, you know. Anyways, this is a beautiful, beautiful primer, and I love that it's a serum. It just gives my skin a health to it that I very much enjoy, and I really like the applicator. It's a very pointy little tip, and I can just boop, boop, boop. For people who aren't into that, then you can just, you know, dot it on or whatever. But then going in with this, which this I am also wearing on my skin today. I love this foundation so much. I don't do what a lot of people were doing, and I don't pack a lot on at the get-go. I put a little bit on, I blend it in, and in the little areas where I want a little bit more, I will add a little bit more. But I feel like that's been key, because on me, it doesn't look super cakey, glam, nothing. It looks very natural, very even. It just looks good. These two are a total match made in heaven, and I'm so glad they worked out, and I really would recommend them to you. If you have oily skin, I don't know. I have very normal to somewhat dry in certain areas, but not exaggerated. So, you know, obviously, like I said, take everything I say, everything I recommend with a grain of salt, because what works for me may not in the end work for you. So just letting you know that. Okay, the other foundation, I mean, now's the time to get all your foundations, because honestly, they're pricey. So Makeup Forever HD Skin foundation. This is also such a good one, and it's so pretty to look at. So this is what this looks like right here. I always thought this was like a screw in, you know, kind of cap, and no, it just kind of pushes and pulls out. But this is a also beautiful foundation. If I go in with the right amount, it doesn't look cakey. It just looks even. It's easy to blend. It doesn't look crusty. Not 16 hours. I don't wear my makeup for 16 hours, but if I put it on at 5:30 in the morning, I'm taking it off at 5:30 in the afternoon, it doesn't look cakey, crusty, gross. It just wears beautifully. And for me, that's big, you know, especially when you're working. If you work in the corporate world, then you don't really have a lot of opportunity to be like redoing makeup or just, you know, refreshing makeup. So for me, I have to have something that wears nicely throughout the day. That wears beautifully. Okay, let's go into another complexion product. This is the Rare Beauty Cream Bronzer. This thing is incredible. Also what I'm wearing today. Let's see, mine is, I think the shade is Power Boost. I get confused with that every single time, wondering if that's the actual line of bronzers. No, I think that is the shade name, but this is absolutely beautiful. It goes on so effortlessly. Like, I'm barely touching my skin, and that's what I get. It's stunning, and it is almost like a cream to powder kind of formula that just melts into the skin. And for me, again, very key. It has to melt in. I don't want it looking like it's sitting on my skin. Sometimes I put on bronzer, whether it be cream or powder, and I can see like the almost looks like a little arch or a rainbow or something right here, and I can see like the bronzer. I don't want it to do that. I want it to melt in. I want it to look like one with my skin. Like, maybe I'm looking a little extra warm and glowy, and this just does it. Probably my favorite cream bronzer ever. So this, huge recommendation if you have not already picked it up. Also on the lines of Rare Beauty, the eyeshadow primer. Oh my goodness. So her price point is just wonderful. And so this, I want to say, oh, I can't remember. Was it 18? I will list it below. Gosh, I don't remember how much this was, but it wasn't outrageous. And it is the primer I have enjoyed more than any. Now, my Fenty Pro Filter Eye Primer, is in a class by itself because I don't use that for all over priming. I use that only for the areas where I need something very tacky, like a sparkly shade, kind of a glittery shade. So that I love is like in its own class. But for just a straight up eyeshadow primer, this one evens out your skin tone. It holds the shadow so well. It's not tacky, but it's got some sort of like, resistance isn't the word, but it's got something. Like it is a little creamy and you can tell. And so I feel like those combined make it the best eyeshadow primer that you can find out there. And again, for the price point, it is wonderful. All right, let's talk a couple of powders. One is an oldie but a goodie, but I do know, I've done a video on it, that she has released the Cherry Blossom. So I do want to obviously recommend this one to you, even though at this point, it's so old and most people love it, I think. So this is the Huda Easy Bake setting powder. This particular one is in Pound Cake. This is my OG. The Cherry Blossom, I very much enjoy as well. The only thing is I find that it does the exact same thing as this one. It gives me the same brightening effect. So that's why I didn't pull that one out. This one is honestly my tried and true. I love this one. And it just, listen, you don't get any better than this for a setting powder. You just don't. So yes, it's got a scent, and that I know that turns a lot of people off. So there is that. But listen, for the airbrush look that it gives, you don't come any kind of close to this powder. So just throwing it in here because it is my absolute favorite, and because I know she had also released the Cherry Blossom, which some of y'all might be interested in. Another powder which comes very close to that one, I would say it is very similar, except that instead of matte, it's radiant. And so this is the Rare Beauty setting powder. Mine is in the shade Light. I originally went with light medium. It was too deep, way too deep. I had to go for the light, and I love this powder. Again, gives me a very airbrushed look, but it has a certain amount of radiance, not glitter, not sparkle, radiance and glow. It just looks very lovely, gives my skin a very healthy look. And then it's got this little thing that you can slide from side to side, and it just makes it a little bit of a cleaner area, even though mine does have some residue. But again, for the price point, it can't be beat. This powder's incredible. If you haven't tried it, now's the time to do so. All right, so let's move into one concealer. There's been several concealers that have released. This is the one that for me has been the best. The LYS I really wasn't as much of a fan of. I wasn't wowed by that one. But the Good Apple by KVD, I have thoroughly enjoyed. I love the way it looks. I love the way it covers my dark under eye circles. I am in the shade medium 126, but you gotta kind of be careful because it says medium, but it's actually the light medium neutral or light medium cool, one of the two. So for me, I was like, oh, because originally I went too light. So just if you are in the market for this one, kind of look at those descriptions. Listen, the applicator is so amazing. I've not come across a smoother, softer applicator. It is soft. I don't know how to describe it to you. I've not encountered any or not used any concealer that has had an applicator this soft. And I love that it's like a little oval pad. It's like a, I don't know. It's like a soft foot. But it is absolutely lovely. It goes on beautifully. It doesn't dry out my under eyes. I was going to say my under eye circles. It doesn't dry out my under eyes, and it just sets really nicely. I did set it today with powder. However, I prefer this one non-set just because I feel like it kind of sets itself. Sometimes when I go in with powder, it almost makes it look a little bit extra dry. And so, but it is lovely. So easy to blend. It's just, I love it. I love it. So as far as concealer, that has been my go-to, my tried and true lately. And yeah, it's the one that I would recommend to you. So there's that. Then a couple of other miscellaneous items. The Bite Beauty Mascara. I really wanted to put falsies on today, but for purposes of this video, I left them off. So this is the mascara I have on my eyes. It is the Upswing Full Volume Mascara. It's beautiful. It does what a lot of mascaras don't do for me. So the wand or the bristles, it's very full. Like there's a lot going on in there. So you do have to be careful that you don't smudge it all over your eyeshadow. But this, I do go in with about 2 coats, sometimes 3. I think today I went in with 2, and it just brings my lashes to life. And there's not a lot of mascaras that do that. The last one that I loved was the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir, and I don't like paying a lot for high-end mascaras. I'd rather go the drugstore route because more often than not, I'm gonna use false lashes. But on the days where I'm not, this is what I use, and I love it. I would repurchase it again in a heartbeat. So if you've been kind of curious about this one, definitely check it out. And then lastly, as it comes to kind of like complexion, this is a no-brainer, and this is just, it's hard to keep it in stock, I think, because it's always out of stock. And it's the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. It says party all night, stay all day. Listen, I don't think this even comes close to the Urban Decay All-Nighter. This one is in a class by itself. If you want to feel your makeup absolutely locked and loaded, this is the spray for you. This is the setting spray that I take with me on our trips to Disney World, because when I use this, my makeup ain't going nowhere. And you guys know when you take a trip to Disney World, you need your makeup to be set and not melt off your face, no matter what time of year you're going. You need those pictures to look extra nice. So this will do it for you. And if it can stand up at Disney World, then it can stand up anywhere. So there is a reason it always sells out. There's a reason it's a little pricier. This is the best, in my opinion, setting spray to lock in your makeup on the market. So if you've been on the fence, if you need to repurchase, now's the time to do it. Okay guys, so let's go into one eye product, and then the rest are gonna be lip products. So I struggled to find an eyeshadow palette. You guys know eyeshadow palettes are my thing, that I absolutely wanted to recommend. There hasn't been a whole lot in the way of that. However, my favorite, it's actually a face palette, but it's a combined eye and face palette. The Natasha Denona Glam face palette. This particular one is the light and is the one I am wearing on my eyes, as well as the blush and highlight. The deep one I love just as much. This is stunning. If you've been on the fence, I believe at the time it was limited edition. It's still in stock. I just checked before filming this video. So I would say jump on this one if you've been any kind of uncertain. It is beautiful. There are no words. And typically I get asked what I'm wearing when I have this on my eyes. So the eyeshadows, beautiful. Neutral mattes, if you just want to go in with a one and done. They're a beautiful formula, no surprise there. And then these particular metallics are so glowy, so intense, so high wattage that someone like me is even wowed. And the reason for that is because it's hard to wow me because I love a good metallic, shiny eyeshadow. And I have tried so many of them at this point that it's like, yeah, I've seen that done before. Okay, I've never seen this done before. And then the face products, y'all, they're just as lovely. So the blush is what I'm wearing today. It is a stiffer formula. It's a very airbrushed formula. Once you put it on, it's like just so super smooth. It just doesn't emphasize anything. It's absolutely lovely. And then this highlight, I remember the first time I used it, I was like, I'm not sure. And then I never looked back. So beautiful. It's just, you can even go with a light hand on this and make it a little bit more subtle, but you know me, why go big or go home, you know? So definitely high wattage on the highlight as well. So for the eyes, and granted this also is for the face, but I don't have a highlight or a blush to recommend to you. This is a one-stop shop. This is a must. I would say if you don't already have this and you've been wanting to add it to your collection, listen, don't wait for it to sell out. Just grab it now. It's probably out of everything in this little box that I have, that is probably one of the top things I would recommend to you. Okay, let's finalize everything with some lip products. So let me give you a couple lip liners. So these are my tried and trues. These are the ones I would say hands down are the best lip liners you can find. And that is the Huda Beauty Lip Contour 2.0. This particular one is in the shade Vivid Pink. I've got about 3 others and I'd love to get a couple more. I love this formula. It is a matte formula, but it doesn't dry out your lips, doesn't make your lips look like raisins. It's not uncomfortable, and it lasts a hot minute. It just stays on so beautifully. And I love that it covers my lip lines. It makes my lips look a little bit more poofy, a little bit more airbrushed, a little bit fuller than what they are. There is no comparison to this lip liner, quite frankly. So if you have been wondering about these, wonder no more. I hope she releases more colors because I am so over the moon for that lip liner. It is definitely well worth your money. And then the other lip liner, which is super affordable, is the Sephora Contour, let's see, Rouge Gel Lip Liner. So this particular one is in 11, it's cherry. And I have since bought like 4 others. So this one does feel like a gel going on, super moisturizing. When you put it on, you can feel it almost like a little bit of a tack, but it's not uncomfortable. Again, this also does not dry out your lips or make them look like raisins. It is a different consistency than the Huda. It's not as flawless airbrushed, but it looks stunning. I use it as an all over lip color. It's typically what I use my lip liners for, I would say more regularly than just lining my lips. And this is $13. It's hard to find an amazing retractable lip liner like this for that price point. So if you have been wondering about these and you don't want to fork over the money for the Hudas, then this is, oh my goodness, so amazing. And I ended up going out on a limb with this one because I saw Jessica Braun had recommended it on one of her, it was like one of her holiday vlogs. Oh my goodness, you guys, it does not get any better than that. Okay, so just a couple others. The Natasha Denona I Need a Rose lipstick. These have been getting very mixed reviews. This particular one is in the shade Daphne. I love a good lipstick that stays on my lips that's kind of in between. It's not overly, and this is what it looks like, by the way. It's not drying, but at the same time, it's not so emollient that it's going to slip and slide all over my lips and that I'm gonna have to reapply every 45 minutes. I don't have the time for that. So this is the perfect in-between formula, and I think it's a new formula. Again, it's in the shade Daphne. I do wanna get Peony during the sale, but this lasts on me for several hours looking so lovely. And this shade is kind of that perfect in-between pink shade where it's not too light, yet it's not too deep. This one I truly and highly recommend if you like this type of formula. If you're looking for super, super emollient, yeah, these are a little bit of a departure from her original ones. But for me, it was right up my alley. And for those who like this type of formula and this type of shade, definitely pick it up. Okay, so the other is, again, an older lip formula, but I recently pulled these back out and started using them, and I was like, why did I ever stop? And this is the Huda, it's just the cream lipstick. This particular one is in the shade Angel. She's got a lineup of pinks and a lineup of nudes, and they are so lovely. This one I would say is a little bit more emollient than the Natasha Denona. So this one does have a little bit more slip to it. Got to reapply a little bit more frequently, but not to the point where it's like every 45 minutes. Because again, I don't have time for that. So this particular shade I love. I have a couple others from her nude lineup, and they are just as stunning. I think Empress, and I forget what the other one's called. But this lip formula, if you like a very good moisturizing lip that has beautiful pigment, beautiful neutrals, this one is for you. Okay, I've got 2 products left, and that is the Makeup by Mario, let's see, Moisture Glow. Oh, wait, no, I have 3 lip products. I was like, what's on my lips today? Okay. The Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum. This is in the shade Rose Glow. The packaging leaves a little bit to be desired as far as my perspective. I feel like it feels and looks a little cheap, but okay, who cares, because the product itself is beyond anything that you have tried. It's the best glossy anything. So it is what's making my lippy look glossy today, and this is so good. I also picked up the Apricot, I think it was called, and Bare Glow keeps coming in and out of stock. I'm thinking if it's in stock by the sale, I will probably pick that one up. But listen, this one has a minty, very refreshing feel, but more than anything, it looks so juicy on the lips, and it's hard to find something that looks that wet and juicy that stays on for a little bit. This is it. It's wonderful. Don't even think twice. What's on my lips today that I am loving this formula is the Dior, what is this called? The Forever Liquid Lipstick. This particular one is in 558 Forever Grace is this one. So I love this formula. I feel like the lighter you go, the harder it is to really see it on the lips. But, and I say that because the nude one, I kind of, I don't know if I love it as much. This particular shade, and I also have Forever Grace. Oh gosh, I love that one too. The applicator is so, so cute. It's like a little, see, a little pointy foot. And then it just goes on so beautifully. This will stay on my lips for hours. It will look just absolutely beautiful for as long as it's on my lips. It doesn't get cracked and crusty and gross. It just wears really, really nicely. So if you're looking for a long wear lipstick that's not super drying, this is it. They're very pricey though. I think they're $39 each. The time to get them is during the sale. So this definitely love. And then last but certainly not least, again, something I pulled back out and it has made me want to purchase one of his newer glosses. This is his OG gloss lineup. This one's in She's Expensive, and I love this so much. His glosses smell good, but oh gosh, they smell minty, like peppermint, but I don't know, with another sweet aspect in there. I love this gloss formula because it doesn't, now one thing I did wish is that the sparkles showed up, but glosses always, like, sparkle dissipates. Anyways, but it looks, again, very kind of wet and just shiny. Not all glosses do that, and you would think they would, but honestly they don't. And when I was cleaning out my lip collection, if you've seen that video, then you knew that I was like, oh, I forgot I even had this. And this was one of them. And I have been wearing it so consistently since then. And I was like, why did I ever stop using this? It's so, so good. So for a very glossy, wet, juicy look, kind of like that Makeup by Mario, this is a very good option. And definitely I want to try his newer formula as well. But as far as this one, his OG, highly, highly recommend. Okay, my friends, well, that brings us to the end of today's recommendations video. Stay tuned because I will be doing a full face using all of those or most of those products. Again, just so that we can have a get ready with me together so that you can see really how these apply in action. Because just watching this may not be enough for you to decide whether it's for you or not. So stay tuned for that. I hope you'll give this video a thumbs up. It doesn't take more than a second or two and it helps the channel out so very much. And if you're new, I hope you'll consider subscribing. I'd love to see you here again and just kind of talk makeup with you. Before I let you go, I just want to give you a very quick verse of the day to tell you that Jesus loves you, to motivate you, encourage you, and to wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Today's comes from Proverbs 16:24, and it says, "Pleasant words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones." I chose this one for today because in a society where everything we say is not only condescending and judgmental and just, I don't know, there's so much negativity. As I go through social media, sometimes I'll see a post and I'll start reading the comments and I'm like, I don't even want to be here reading this. This is just, people are so comfortable being ugly now. So that being said, you be the change. Speak pleasant words to other people. Just make it a point to do it on a daily basis. Soon it will become habit. And everything that comes out of your mouth will just be pleasant and lovely and just wonderful. So I just encourage you to do that. Be the change. One person at a time, you know, that makes a change. Change your world. Alrighty, my friends, I love each and every one of you so much, but Jesus loves you that much more. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and I will see you soon. Bye, friends.